The myth surrounding Alaska's purchase dates back to October 1867 and speculates the United States didn't pay the full amount for Alaska.
And that's because, Laurel, some people believe it was part of a cover-up that involved political payoffs to Russians.
The amount that America paid Russia for Alaska, the amount of that check, is a fact. However, some people think that $7.2 million did indeed contain a payoff to the Russians. In 1939, historian Marriette Shaw Pilgrim wrote that the British and the French were getting ready to recognize the Southern Confederacy, and that the Russians sent over their naval fleet to the east and the west coast in a show of support for the Union. She concluded that America only paid $1.4 million for Alaska, and that the rest was a payoff to the Russians for showing up in force during the American Civil War.
Research, though, since then has proved this was all a conspiracy.
It turns out that America was interested in purchasing Alaska before the Civil War. In fact, they had made an offer to Russian officials for $5 million to buy Alaska. But Russian officials got back to them in early 1860 saying that they were not ready to sell Alaska yet because they didn't know the value. However, they were going to do an inventory, and as soon as they did know the value, they would be in a position to treat.
So it's possible the U.S. could have paid less for Alaska had the deal gone through earlier?
When they finally tallied up what the Russian-American company had in furs, real estate, ships, it totaled to $4.4 million. So it's possible if America had offered $5 million again, the Russians would have taken it. However, the Civil War broke out, and all negotiations then were put on hold until 1867. Research into the Russian archives later showed what the true motives were for Tsar Alexander II. At the time, European powers were getting ready to go to war over Polish independence. Now, the Tsar knew that his navy was weak, and so he sent his ships to America to prey on British and French commerce, thinking that they would stay safe away from any big war. So the unintended consequence of the Czar of Russia sending his ships to New York and San Francisco was boosting the morale of the North and making the French and British think twice about openly supporting the Confederacy.